One of the features of the new Nokia N97 is a little YouTube application. Now you'd kind of expect this these days. I mean, smartphones are becoming so embedded with the web that if you had a smartphone that didn't have interactivity with, say, Facebook, YouTube, maybe even Flickr, certainly Twitter, then you'd be rather surprised. So the N97 is sort of like that, except that although it's got Facebook app, YouTube app, etc., they're just apps that are basically standalone apps. They're not exactly integrated into the overall phone itself. I'll give you an example. This is the YouTube app, and when it comes up, as you can see, it's like the mobile version of YouTube. Now that itself isn't a bad thing necessarily. It's just that, well, it looks like it's been designed for a WAP phone. It looks frankly awful. You can't see anything other than the actual title. Sometimes you can see little thumbnails of the videos, and in this case, sometimes you can't. Now, scrolling down, you can see that you're only seeing the, what's that, 1, 2, 3, you're only seeing 4 videos at a time. So actually scrolling through this, it's an unusable application. In other words, you can only ever see what's on the front. You won't be able to actually use this in terms of browsing through the different videos that are uploaded onto YouTube. So in that sense, it's pretty useless. You've got links there to most viewed, top rated videos, categories, etc. But again, the problem is they're so small, you're never going to click on those. I mean, look at the size of my finger, and I don't have particularly fat fingers. I'm not going to be able to click on those. I'm not going to be able to find a link, click on it with this particular finger on a touchscreen that's this bad. So the only way you can do it is by scrolling down and getting your mouse to click on it, exactly as you did with the E90. Now this works because I used to have an E90 and I've used it extensively, so I know that this works, but it's clunky, and again, it's not what you want from a touchscreen mobile phone. That said, the quality of the videos isn't bad. If I go to the 5th gear one here, just click that, and you'll find that it's nice and speedy. Now this is connecting through wireless LAN, so you'd expect it to be quite speedy. And it should come up anytime soon. Got some videos playing full screen mode, so I will do that.
Coming up on this
And
week's
do that again.
TV, I'll be
There we go.
testing Renault's new warm hatch, the Clio GT, and Graham from the office will be meeting Sir Richard Noble, the man responsible for a 1,000-mile-an-hour car.
Now as you can
Hello
see,
and welcome to 5th Gear
that's
Web
perfectly
TV
watchable.
and the Renault Clio GT, which
As
I'll be
indeed
putting through its
is Vicky
paces
Butler
in a
Henderson.
moment. First,
Stop that. Okay, so the point is that that's very watchable, which is a very good thing. So as far as watching video is concerned, the YouTube application that comes with the N97 is a bit poor. However, the videos that you ultimately get to see are actually really good. You will be able to watch them, you won't get any eye strain. The screen is wide enough to show full HD width, like widescreen videos if need be. And it's actually really rather impressive. So from that perspective, the Nokia N97 scores well in terms of viewing video. And the same goes with streaming video as well. It actually scores well overall with handling video of any type. It's just that I do wish that the applications were better written. I wish that they were written for a top-end Nokia N-series phone, rather than relying on these clunky Symbian desktop equivalents applications that really aren't written very well at all, and they look like that was something that was developed for WAP-based phones back in the year 2000. Now, I know I'm bordering on a rant here, but, well, if you've ever used any of the new phones, such as the Androids or the iPhone, you'll know what I'm coming at. This is a Nokia N97. It's a top-end flagship Nokia mobile phone. It should be competing with the likes of the iPhone and the Android. Instead, it's competing with the Nokia E90. It's just a better version of the E90. It's as if Nokia's forgotten that there's other competition out there. Now, it's got a touchscreen, and that's great, but it's as if Nokia's thought to themselves, well, I suppose we better put a touchscreen on as everybody else has. It doesn't work very well. It really doesn't. It's annoying to use. Applications. This is last minute, for example. Now, there's a fantastic version of this application that's on Android and it's also on iPhone. and I'll show you it in another video, that integrates beautifully with those mobile phones. It shows a radar, it automatically picks up where you are, it then displays all the things that are near you, such as restaurants, bars, ATMs and that. Will give you distances to it, one-touch phone call to it. It's just brilliant, super integrated with the phone and with the web. This is just a mobile web phone page. Find a restaurant around, let's try Reading. Okay, now look at this. Find a restaurant around Reading. Okay, now how do I find a restaurant around Reading? Do I click done? Clearly I don't click cancel, but what does done do? Would done search? If I click done, will that actually search? Do I scroll down, or do I click search? You click search. Think about this from a user interface perspective. I've typed in something there. I'm looking now to search for it. On the actual screen here, the only thing that I can think of to search for it now, to actually click go and search this thing for me, is done. I click done. What does that do? Exit options. Okay, that's not what I want. So if I click done, that pulls up another menu with exit, which I clearly don't want, and options. So I click on options, exit, input options, show open apps. What does input option? Activate prediction, settings. What? If I click cancel, then I'm back to exit and options again. At this stage, I am royally confused. It's just a simple little application that's going to pull up a list of restaurants. At the moment, I don't know how to search for it. Now, I go back and I scroll up and I get that. Search. Does that look like a button? Let's try and get a better picture of it. Does that in any way look like a button? No, but that's what you do. You click on it to search. And it breaks! Deep breath, deep breath. Let's try that again. Hopefully, you're getting some idea of the frustration of this device and the tone of voice, but also by seeing it, that this really is... Oh, there we go. No, it's not going to work. It's rubbish, frankly. It's very frustrating. Another example is Facebook. I won't go into Facebook because obviously there's a few personal things there. But the point is, Facebook on my T-Mobile G1 is integrated with my address book and my contacts. So whenever I've got my list of contacts that I want to go into, there's an application on it that pulls out all the details from Facebook of those people, basically matches the email address with that of Facebook. And so when I've got a picture of my friend, it pulls up their Facebook photo. In other words, the mobile phone has integrated tightly with Facebook thanks to this application that somebody else has written. You don't get that on the N97. You just get a Facebook app, and that's all it is. It will take you to the Facebook site. And that seems to be the way that the Symbian apps are working. There's no integration between the phone and the application, or the phone and the web. There's no mashups, there's no remixing. It's just there, it's in your face, it doesn't work very well, the user interface doesn't work very well, and it's just not very good. I hate to say this, I love Nokia dearly, but the Nokia N97 is not a good smartphone.